OrionOlive.com. As you know, Orion olives don't mix, but the abstract thought of putting those two words together has enlightened me to create a channel to discuss various topics. On today's episode, we're going to do a part 2 of going, where do you go on your first date? And I want to really pretty much bring this conversation up because I like comparing what things used to be like growing up and dating, and then what things currently are right now of what people normally would expect going out on dates. Now, let's think about back. Let's go back 20 years ago, and when you look at how and the places where people were dating, there was a change in the way that people communicated with each other, talked. People had cell phones, but people were not on them and consumed as much 20 years ago on cell phones as they are today. And when you're going out on these dates now, what it seems like is people spend so much time on social media more than they get an opportunity to get to know each other. And that's why I always tend to recommend people to go to parks or open public free places where you both don't have to spend money to get to know each other and talk. And I know I've said this over and over in a few videos that I've done so far, but it's very important because people oftentimes, when they say they're going out on a date, they normally go in the late evenings, post 6 o'clock, late night, going out to eat. You really can't do anything but go inside somewhere and actually talk or whatever else that people do, rather than people going out on a date early in the morning. I always say coffee shop. It can be a local owned coffee shop somewhere in your city, or a place that may serve it. Even if you don't drink coffee, you can always drink something else. But starting out with something very small, you don't have to go spend a lot of money, and people make that mistake. And then what that does is, when you start a trend, if you start out with expensive places, you're gonna have to keep them up. And especially if that person is materialistic, where they like the attention, they like the glitz and glam, they're going to be expecting that all the time. So I'm not advocating for guys to do a Netflix and chill kind of thing, but actually you all go out and interact with other people. Go out in public and see what that person is like around other people. See how they talk to other people as well. And you all date, and you have that time where you all can actually get to know one another, because dating is the most important aspect that you can think of before you get into a relationship. So that dating phase, you're basically vetting that person to see if they are worth your time. If you start out with those expensive dates, you're only going to see one side. If you start out with something free where neither of you are losing any money in that dating process initially, then you have nothing to lose, because you're basically basing everything based off the physical attraction of being around that person and the conversation that they're having with you. And so when you do that, you go for that walk, you're not sitting still, you're not sitting idle, you're not picking up your cell phone and texting other people about the date and stuff like that. And that's a big difference between, almost 20 years ago, before Facebook and social media came to the picture. Now it's almost impossible for somebody to not put their phone in their pocket and hold it there until they get done dating a particular person. So I want you all to think about that. Think about those places that you can go. Like if you live in a city where there's a botanical garden or some type of park with a walking trail, or even going to ride bikes together, something that doesn't require you to break an arm and a leg and spending a lot of money, that right there can really help you get to know that person, see what kind of person that they are. Because you will be mad at yourself, guys, if you go out and you spend so much money on a woman initially dating her and whining and dining and then it doesn't go any further than that. And that's very unfair to the man, because it's like they're spending so much money initially during the dating process. So I'm going to keep advocating for people to really reconsider how they're dating and really getting to know their person, because you need to know people, what their psychological thinking capacity is, whether they can have a deep conversation or not, because most people oftentimes nowadays, they can talk more to you through social media and through a keyboard than they can actually physically standing there talking to you and getting to know you and asking questions. Because when you are through text and through social media, the only thing that you can do is really read the words, and the structure of those words really makes you think whether that person is either upset, happy, sad, or whatever. But when you're standing there, you can look at their eyes, you can read their body language, you can actually get a chance to see how they are, like you both get a chance to physically see each other, and you will know instantly whether that is going to continue. So like, listen, subscribe to the channel. I definitely want to bring more topics, ideas to you, and see what you all think about them. Let me know what you think about today's topic in the comments below. Click the subscribe button. Look forward to talking with you all soon.